sociopath who has zero empathy for other people. Deepa 19.
If you're for any war, you're as bad as him.
Hey,
if you ever supported that, you're as bad as him. So maybe don't judge so hard.
All right. Hey, Tara, thank you so much from Rockfin. Much appreciated. All right. Mediocre witch. None of the mitigations are justified if you acknowledge early treatment existed. Does that ever come up? Thank you. What is the Secret Service code for change me? I'm dirty. Oh, I read that one, Tiller. Speaking of ratting out parents, as a 6-year-old in the 60s, I wrote on a worksheet of my teacher to go to hell. Principal grilled me for 2 hours trying to find out who taught me it. Thank you. Hey, Steph, is JD aware that Locals is owned by DYED in the wool Zionist Dave Rubin? I know JD is opposed to the genocide, so why support a Zionist platform speaking truth?
Did you know that the people who started every war are the ones who also sell you your gas and your tires and your car? And you know the people who use slave labor sell you your computers? Oh my God. So does that person not travel? That person doesn't get in a car ever, or on a bus, or get on an airplane?
Probably doesn't eat food either.
Did you know who controls the gas? Come on, that's that kind of crazy shit.
Yes.
Did you know that Peter Thiel is an owner of Rumble? Hey, do you know who owns fucking Google and YouTube and ABC, NBC, CNN, MS? Where the fuck are you supposed to go? There's nowhere to go. That is the dumbest shit. Yeah, I know Dave Rubin invented Locals.
Jimmy.
He then sold it to, I'm pretty sure he sold it to Rumble.
Hey, you're a slave too, by the way.
Even if he still owns it. What the fuck am I supposed to do? Yeah. I have to, I'm going to go to Rumble and I'm going to do my show on Rumble. I don't care. You think it's better off doing your show on YouTube? The fucking people who are the military-industrial complex?
Listen, whatever the platform is, you get it on the platform.
It's crazy.
Don't worry about that nonsense, okay? If you have a platform... But appreciate it and put the information on it. Who gives a shit? The whole system is bad. There's not going to be a president that's going to make the system good. You've been enslaved the whole time. That's why we have a Federal Reserve. What did you think that was?
All right, back to Steph. All right, boom. Thank you so much, Jimmy, for answering tomfoolery. At least I wasn't a rat. Serves me right for learning to spell it on my own. Shouldn't have done my own research. Sparky. I look at Don Lemon and all I can see is Caddy Daddy. Kyle Dunnigan, shout out.
He is a Caddy Daddy, isn't he?
I figured out how to spell it on my own, but didn't remember where I heard it. Looking back,
I never saw Caddy Daddy.
I probably heard it at church. Dad whipped the hell out of me with a belt. Oh, in the school parking lot. Sparky. Oh, thank you so much for that sad story. That story took a turn. John says, for all you do, this Guinness is for you. Slante. Be well and press on. Thanks, Jimmy. Stephen Crew. John. Thank you, John. Dad must have been really angry for him to come from work. My folks didn't cuss, so I must have gotten from church. I didn't know exactly what it meant. I actually liked my first grade teacher. Oh, Sparky.
Okay.
He didn't admit even a regret, let alone a mistake, or take any accountability. That's right, Leah Jeanette. Thank you so much. Back to Jimmy.
So Megyn Kelly interviewed one of these tools, who I used to like this guy years ago.
Dan Abrams.
I guess now he has a show on News Nation.
Where did his hair, Kalinsky?
I think he just went gray, not blonde.
Whoa.
But here's another guy who he knows the law inside and out. This guy. So that's how you know he's either been brainwashed, MK Ultra'd, or
he's in on it,
or he's just another sociopath who wants to keep his job. Watch this.
There's wrongdoing here, right? There was definitely wrongdoing. Whether it should have been a crime is a separate. What's the wrongdoing?
He's talking about the Trump prosecution, and so there's definitely wrongdoing here. There's definitely wrongdoing. There's wrongdoing.
I don't even know.
Wrongdoing.
Can't two people with Ozempic face battle this out? Look at these two Ozempic faces.
So there's definitely wrongdoing.
Wrongdoing? All right, number one, it's paying $130,000 to a porn star to keep her quiet. That's to try to protect your...
Personally, I think it should be a crime to pay a porn star to talk.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Paying them to stay quiet. That's you're doing God's work.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Campaign. Can we at least...
Let's start it again.
There's wrongdoing here, right? There was definitely wrongdoing. Whether it should have been a crime is a separate... What's the wrongdoing? What's the wrongdoing? All right, number one, it's paying $130,000 to a porn star to keep her quiet. That's to try to protect your campaign. Can we?
What?
First of all, that's what Bill Clinton did with Paula Jones. Paid her $850,000. I showed you that video before. He paid Paula Jones $850,000, and then his lawyer came out and announced it at a press conference. So that's not wrong.
Jimmy, it's not wrong. He's a Democrat.
Okay, that's
also,
right.
Let's say it was wrong. Like, of all the wrongs going on, the one that you're like, thank God we got this one taken care of.
So yeah, we're about to start World War III in 4 different spots. Thank God we're focusing on Trump paying $130,000 to a porn star.
There's a mass immigration of military-age men coming in. The war's starting, and I mean, come on, man.
Here we go. This is funny.
There's wrongdoing here.
There's
right?
wrongdoing.
There was definitely wrongdoing. Whether it should have been a crime is a separate. What's the wrongdoing? What's the wrongdoing? All right, number one, it's paying $130,000 to a porn star to keep her quiet. That's to try to protect your campaign. Can we at least agree that's wrong?
It's not illegal. It's not
I didn't say it was. No. I just said moral versus legal.
Wrong. Are we talking moral?
I made it clear. I'm
moral versus legal. So it's a pick a pedo time once again.
Yeah.
Thank God we're flooded with antidepressants to be able to live with ourselves. Jesus Christ. What happened? By the way, what happened to always believe women?
And why didn't she shut up? That's another question.
He's dansplaining. That's what he's doing.
He's dansplaining. Look at these two skeletons.
He's dansplaining. He's trying to tell her how morality trumps legality. That's what he's doing here. What? Let's here we go.
There's wrongdoing here, right? There was definitely wrongdoing. Whether it should have been a crime is a separate. What's the wrongdoing? What's the wrongdoing? All right, number one, it's paying $130,000 to a porn star to keep her quiet. That's to try to protect your campaign. Can we at least agree that's wrong?
It's not illegal.
I didn't say it was. No. I just said moral versus legal.
Wrong. Are we talking moral?
I made it clear. I'm making it clear. For a minute, I'm talking about morality versus legality. Right?
Yeah.
There's no doubt that he engaged in.
All right. I'll tell. Here's my response to that. And I said this on my show the other day. I don't know what kind of weird marriage these two have. Same as I didn't know what kind of weird marriage Bill and Hillary Clinton had. So I don't know what their covenant is in terms of what he's allowed to do on the outside of his marriage.
Again, I don't mind the sex,
but when you're paying a problem.
But I'm not talking about the sex.
He doesn't mind the sex. So the adultery is okay.
So adultery's moral, but if it helps your campaign in some way.
Again, he sounds like Chris Cuomo.
Why are they skeleton? What is this?
I know.
The TV ad's 5 pounds.
I know.
Do you know what they must look like in real life?
In real life, here we go.
I'm talking about the $130,000 to keep her quiet to protect his campaign.
Immoral. There's nothing wrong with that at all. Nothing.
Really? Okay. Look, again,
if somebody runs for office, they just lose the right to have any privacy. They just have to let us see all of their dirty laundry from the moment they declare forward, or somehow they've done something morally wrong or legally wrong.
When you're doing it to protect the campaign and you are spending money on it, then now I'm going to switch back to the legal. You are now crossing the line into legal problems.
No,
right?
It's a joke.
No, absolutely not right. Incorrect at every level.
Again, the idea that let me back up.
No, okay, you're right. It's not illegal. He goes, I'm going to go back to the legal. No, it's not illegal.
What does this have to do with the case?
It's not illegal. It's not illegal to pay a porn star to not talk. That's not illegal. To keep your private life private. That's not illegal. They do it
all the time.
Like I showed you the video the other day. Bill Clinton paid $850,000 to Paula Jones, and then his lawyer announced it at a press conference that we just gave her $850,000, and now this is going to go away. So Hillary Clinton. So what they got Trump for was lying on what he spent that $130,000. He filled out the form and said it was for something other than what it was.
Obviously,
he didn't do that, but his lawyer, yes.
And Michael Cohen falsified it because he's a lying piece of shit. But wait, did you know Max Blumenthal interviewed Stormy Daniels years ago?
No.
Yeah, and she was being put up to run for some office, he said, in I don't know where it was, by some guys. Yeah, and she kept offering to flash him. And he says the most bizarre.
Really?
Yeah,
how do you turn that down? Here we go.
Falsified business records either.
I don't know what he did. I don't think he wrote down.
What does that mean? We just had a whole trial. We heard every detail of this. How can you not know?
Let me answer.
Please.
Let me answer. I don't think he wrote down hush money payment to Stormy Daniels. Nobody who pays hush money would write down such a thing. I think he wrote down, or someone at the Trump organization wrote down, legal expenses from the drop-down Adobe menu. And that made as much sense as anything else because hush money wasn't an option. He was paying his lawyer who had made the payment to Stormy Daniels, and he was, I believe, reimbursing her, though he denied that, reimbursing him, though he denied that on the stand. I don't think there's anything wrong with doing that. I think you pay your lawyer money because he outlaid money for you. You could easily classify that as a legal expense.
No matter what it's for, right? Even if it's illegal conduct, you can just put it, it's a legal expense, right?
This wasn't illegal. There's nothing illegal about paying hush money for an NDA. It's done
There's not.
all
but
the
when
time.
You're doing it to protect your campaign, it is. That's the difference.
No, what law are you citing, Dan?
Campaign finance laws. You're not allowed to give the...
You don't know what you're talking
about.
What
are you talking about?
You're wrong.
Explain to me.
Let me explain to you.
Tell me what I'm getting wrong. Tell me what I'm getting wrong. When you're spending $130,000...
I'll explain.
Go ahead.
I get it, because you're saying that there are limits to the campaign contributions somebody can make, and this has exceeded them, and then they hit it. I understand. That's his theory.
He didn't say that.
However, this has been wrong from the start.
Yeah.
It does not amount to a campaign contribution if it is the kind of payment that could ever be made outside of the campaign context.
That's not the standard. The standard is substantiality. It's not. It's substantiality.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
You're wrong.
Okay.
No, it's not.
I guess we're going to have to agree.
There's been Supreme Court precedent on this. Talk to Brad Smith, who was the FEC commissioner.
That the standard is substantiality. All right.
So that's Megyn Kelly schooling this guy who's a establishment tool on purpose.
Who's a lawyer, and his dad's a famous lawyer, and he knows the law and everything he's saying.
Hey, Dan, let me ask you this. Is it wrong to abuse a senile, possibly cloned Joe Biden by forcing him to be president again? Is that?
I don't care about that. Did you pay money to keep it quiet?
Am I even allowed to say that Trump's anything anymore? Or do we have to switch to morality Biden's legality now?
I don't even know what in the hell Dan was going for here, to be honest with you. I really don't get what...
First he tried to say, well, there was some wrongdoing. And then when she said, what? Well, that's not just illegal. Well, it's morally wrong. And then he goes, well, no, it acts legally. No, it's not. It's neither of those.
Okay, since when has any president ever put through that?
Ever.
Nixon didn't go to trial for shit, did he? Am I wrong?
Nobody.
So when in the hell... I mean, the very idea that Hillary would go to jail was so outrageous to everyone.
Yeah, outrageous. And she, by the way, she did exactly what Dan Abrams is trying to say Trump did. She lied about a campaign expense to protect herself because she funded the P dossier from the Steele. Right. She funded that. That was just a smear job that she paid for.
Is it wrong to destroy your hard drives?
And then she lied on her campaign finance form that she paid for that. She said that was legal services.
She just made a mistake. She's just a nice grandma.
So she didn't. So again,
Granny Clinton's a nice grandma. Doesn't your grandmother have an entire server in her bathroom of a spare computer that her aides have to destroy, and then the one guy turns up dead?
Megyn Kelly, by the way, you're right. She is looking thin.
First of all, Dan Abrams has the lighting is catching her insane. I mean, it's like Ghastly, and he's got the same ghastly features as her. I think they call it Ozempic face, but I don't know what to call it because it's like scary.
I don't know, but she does look, they both look very thin. And
they're both
maybe
liches.
It's just me being jealous because I'm trying to lose weight.
That looks gross,
I'm trying to lose my gut.
I think Megyn still looks that guy. It's their face, Ozempic face.
I think Megyn still looks good. I think she still looks good.
No one's saying she don't look good. I'm just saying.
Okay.
Look at these two witches looking at each other. It's too spooky.
I'm saying they are thin. That's for sure. Okay, over to Steph.
themselves. They found a rabbi hole, tunnels and all. There's Jews in the walls. Isn't it bliss? The rabbinical grace soiling the mattresses. Well, let me tell you.
Shut it down.
If I were Rabbi Shmuley and diddle 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 digga digga diddle diddle dum, all day long I'd diddle little bums. If I were a Shmuley man, I'd peddle all my dildos, dreidel dildos, selling dildos with my daughter and her mum. If I were a Jewish Shmuley man, I'd be digging with a dildo in my bum. I'd wear a grotesque nose and go grab some goyim right on the nipple with a pinch. A Shabbos lap dance brace for the youngest mensch.
At this time, more than any other time, you know, revolution is necessary. It is necessary. Not only based on what has happened with the MOVE organization, you know, the babies that have been murdered, you know, MOVE adults that have been murdered, bombs being dropped on us, but past that to what is happening with all black people, so-called minority people, you know, money poor people. You know, this government, as has been said earlier, has waged war on us. But you know, something about us, particularly here in America, we don't really understand that. You know, we don't really know what war is. You know, for black people, for poor people, that people see as good, that they wasn't forced to do, that they didn't do to try to keep black people appeased, you know, and calm down so that black people wouldn't riot. A prison situation is a crystallized example of that. You can make phone calls in prison. They have movies in prison, but they don't have those things because they just want to be nice to prisoners. They have those things because they know damn well if they don't have, you know, people being able to contact their family, if they don't have, you know, facilities for people to sit there and watch movies, people are going to be frustrated, upset, and they're going to direct that frustration at them prison administrators, and they're going to have riots on their hands. You know, they're going to have people in them prisons turning them prisons out. That's why they have movies. That's why they have access to phones the way they do. And a stop to it when we don't like it, or encouraging it when it's something that's in our interest. You know, we have to call the shots. The people have to take the reins of this system and start dictating, you know, what we need, what needs to be done. And, you know, taking the initiative to do it ourselves. We can't rely on this system. I mean, you know, don't people see what's happening? Every single confrontation that MOVE people have been involved in, every single issue, you know, oppression, economic issues, every single issue facing our people, you know, is something that can be dealt with very, very simply. All people got to do is make their wishes known. All people have to do is stand up and say, listen, we're not accepting that. Unity is the key. Unity is the key to revolution. Revolution ain't nothing to be afraid of. It ain't nothing to shy away from. Revolution, contrary to what officials, you know, this system and those backing the officials running this system, you know, want people to believe that revolution means violence, you know, means blood in the street. I'm saying it can get to that point, but it don't have to be violent. You know, when people come together and take a strong stand on an issue, this government don't have no choice but to listen. Where you think they get their authority from? They don't have no power, but they do have authority to do certain things. Where you think they get it from? They get it from us, from the people. You know, they get it from us accepting the things that they do to be done to stop it, then you have some people who want to then turn around and say, yeah, well, you know, it's the best we have, and want to make excuses. The time for excuses is over. It's over. You know, every man, woman, and child has to be involved in this revolution. Not only has to be, but is, whether you want to be or not. I mean, our babies gave their lives for this revolution on May 13th. You know, men, women, and children were murdered. And not just move babies, you know. What about all of the young men, women, you know, children 8, 9 years old shot down on the street by cops, you know, by drug pushers? I mean, you know, where do you think that mentality comes from? It comes from this system, from the mentality of this system of getting over, you know, making a quick buck, you know. I'm saying that's where that needs to be done to stop it. Then, you know, what I want people to really, really understand is that it's past time. It is past time for poor people, black people, you know, to realize that this system has failed you. It has failed you. You can't get nothing from it. And what people got to do is withdraw our support from it and start doing for ourselves. That's what we got to do. You know, how long are people going to sit back and beg, you know, this government to do what's right when for hundreds of years all you've gotten is a slap in the face? All you've gotten is this government kicking your ass. That's all. That's all black people have ever gotten from this government.
Hey, thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Subscribe by clicking on that button down there for more AM Joy and the rest of MSNBC. And click on any of the videos right here to watch the latest interviews and highlights. And you can get more videos from MSNBC for free every day with our newsletters. Just visit